That's what it's all about, folks.
That right there, folks, is America.
America.
Yep.
America.
Happy Independence Day, Wolf Nation. This is your captain speaking. Folks, not only is it 4th of July, it's also Friday night, and you know what that means. Your weekend officially starts right now. Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Realmhattan Project. My name is Eric von Wittgenstein, and tonight we have a full house minus one regular. Joe could not be here tonight, but we do have someone who is a bit more nasty.
Ooh, that's right.
That's right, folks. You like him, you love him, you want more of him. Chris Pinkerton, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, party people? Thanks for having me, guys. This is a third Realm podcast I've been on this week.
Making the rounds, man. You hide the man.
I am making the rounds. That's right. Put down the chain and picked up the microphone again. How's that sound?
That's good.
But thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to talk about some
being here.
Toys and shit.
We'll certainly get around to that. Hi, what's up, Gord? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Cold down there in the basement with that hat on?
The hotter it is outside, the harder the air conditioning's working, and this is below ground as is, so yes.
Nice. You still got your fingers lighting those fireworks?
Yes.
All right, good.
It took you a second to get the button there.
He had to count to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to talk to us, or are you gonna stand outside for a little while longer?
Keep going. I'm just need a few minutes. So you guys keep going.
All right, folks. Well, we're just gonna jump right into it. I don't know if you guys have heard, but G.I. Joe the line is dead. If you heard this rumor going around, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, they can't apparently get them into stores because you don't see them, right?
No.
And
that's because people are buying them. Like, that one you want that's never there, it's because you're not the only person looking for it.
Wouldn't you know?
No, I kid. The line's not dying. Here's what people are forgetting. The stuff we're getting now was getting designed and made when all the tariff bullshit was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a gap in a lot of stuff. But then they also dropped a new Haslab. So
yeah.
Well, Chris, I don't know if you read the message boards, but they disagree with you, buddy.
I did. Listen, there's a line, okay? In a certain line, only the captain's allowed to read. It's those redacted statements. You get the ones without the black marks to read all the dirty toy nerd gossip. That's you can make some great clickbait content. You should do that. You have a character and everything.
It's true, we do.
Yeah.
Well, folks, if you haven't already heard, and I know you have, this past Monday, they released a new Haslab, G.I. Joe. And it's the Snowcat. And we're going to show it to you right now. And there it is with all 3 tiers. Comes with the Snowcat, as you can see. The Blizzard, is that his name? I'm sorry. I forget this character's name. Frostbite, excuse me. I'm a fake fan.
Yeah.
Comes with the Flint and Lady J in coat mode and their winter mode, and then they have what do they call this? A bivouac?
Bivouac, yeah. It's a camping set. It's a fucking camping set. This is half Barbie Dream Jeep. I'm sorry.
So they traded patches for bivouac, so I think it's a welcome upgrade.
I like this overall offering. Like, I think that, I mean, we'll get into it as we're going, of course, but I think that it's just on point to me. Like, they made a lot of right calls here, and maybe it's not apparent, I think, immediately, based on what the suspicions of what we expect to be included. Like you said, Blizzard, for example.
So it's actually, they couldn't trademark Blizzard, so it's B.Lizard.
Is my camera frozen for you guys too?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. We can work around that.
I just
fuck it.
Off the rip, guys. I find this to be an odd choice.
The Snowcat is a whole.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, it suits a very particular set of needs in your headcanon, right? Now I have a specific vehicle for snow, whereas I have a tank that can go anywhere, a helicopter that can go anywhere, and as of today, on my fucking kitchen table, which I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, a gigantic blue 18 Warthog that I don't have anywhere to put. So I'm on the fence about this. This is the first one I've been on the fence about.
Well, I mean, we've seen the HISS tanks in the polar regions before, so figured that will be their winter vehicle.
Well, sure.
So I feel, Vamp and Stinger aside, I feel it's all right. I think it works with the rest of it, like you're saying, because their vehicles can match up with it.
I feel like you could run that Snowcat on some grassy terrain if you really were out of Mobats that particular
I'm sure
day.
it'll run fine.
I bet it will. I mean, sure. You know what? It absolutely could.
If no snow.
Right. But when B Lizard has to wear the green, everybody's going to just call him Lizard, and he's going to get mad. And then that's how Kerberlaw starts.
Yeah.
But, Chris, you aren't the only one who thinks that way. This particular Haslab has... I mean, every time there's a Haslab, there's always the haters, right? There's always someone who complains it's too expensive. It's not what they wanted. But this one seems the people are a little bit louder on this one, and it's showing on the Brinkalizer chart I got in front of me here.
Uh-oh.
All the other Haslabs they've done for classified, at least, have pretty much funded within the first couple days. This one is on day 5, and we are at what's the current number? 6,314 as of this show.
Do you have can you show the chart?
Do you have access to that, Gort?
I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you might.
While this is open, I mean,
We'll just
if
have
you
to
share it, I can
take my word for it. I'm not.
I will.
But it kind of teetered off a little bit, which is not normal for a Joe Haslab. So
it is not. I'm just going to go real quick. Just a reminder. I'm going to go to RomanCollectors.com and go to the Brinkalizer section and look at the chart. So
that's right, folks. You can do that. You can also go to our Facebook group under the featured tab. Brink's chart is there. Working hard so you don't have to. Thank you, Brian Brink, as always. I'm sure your friends over at Hasbro are very happy with you as well. But like I said, they're a little bit loud on this one. It's showing in the charts. I mean, a lot of people are feeling like you are, Brink, or excuse me, Pinkerton. Why is that? What is it about this particular one?
It's I don't remember this being that big of a toy. Maybe I'm misremembering this. Because when they announced this, in my mind, this was the same size as the Jeeps, but I guess I'm wrong. I don't know. And honestly, like the Mobat was the choice, right? That would have been the next one, because then you have a tank and a tank. But I'm not saying that our buddy Ace over at Ramen pissed in their Cheerios or anything. But it's just surprising to me that wasn't the next thing. And maybe it's because it's a fucking realistic tank and it's 2025. Maybe. Possible. I don't know.
I think that's pretty solid reasoning. I would have liked to have gotten the Mobat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, this is gonna fun. There's no doubt in my mind. You might not get the stretch tiers, but
I think it'll get through that.
Think so?
There's always that jump towards the end anyway, and maybe some people are more and more realizing that, but I think it'll hit it all. It'll definitely get up to that Bivouac, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think it'll just go well past all that.
So we got some more pictures, right, Gord?
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you were grabbing that chart or not, but I'll start moving through these.
Yeah, the one from the Realm hadn't been updated, so go. I think the one in the group's alive.
Yeah, that's good. So I thought it was going to be fun. EE had he has the vintage Snowcat, so we did some comparison shots The original and
cannot wait
Haslab
to
on the
hear.
left.
Okay.
And more or less, look, like they got the design right. And if I was to, skip over, you could see that the overall shape has definitely changed. Like,
Yeah.
that's
It
what's
kind of looks like a lunar rover a little bit now.
Yeah, when you got it, compared to that vintage one for sure.
Yeah, but where the shape of it has changed, the general layout and everything. And when I say layout, I don't mean like where things are, but how it's functioning and how everything fits into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same. Like the space that an action figure is taking up in there is
Yeah.
more or less the same. It's a little higher off the ground. That's some of it. It's like they stretched it to be taller. And in relevance to the Hiss tank, it's a pretty similar size. This one I didn't find a picture of it with the vintage, but they did have it with the Haslab Hiss tank, and you can see they're they both got like big bulk. This one's bigger than the Hiss tank.
It's okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like with that launcher, it's as tall as it. It's wider. It's longer.
No, I think part of it is this is silly, but the all black treads on the back of the vintage really it's a unique look.
Yeah.
That is lost on this. On the classified one here. See what I mean?
I guess they're just trying to match the forward there.
I don't know. I kind of like the classified look. It makes it pop a little bit more. That's just me, though.
As far as like tempo and like sticker kind of layout, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
You have the same numbers, and I'm sure they, probably have like a decal sheet with options or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they said there was a sticker sheet. They didn't have it complete to show us.
Yeah, I didn't see a picture, but I missed if it was mentioned. And this is
So
just
funny
the other
enough,
side.
I should have pulled pictures. If you look up the Snow Wolf, it looks more like a Snow Wolf than a Snowcat.
Oh yeah,
it does with the black trim and all that. It looks more like a Snow Wolf.
Repaint, huh?
And maybe I'm the only one that is excited for this one. This is the one I wanted since the day they announced the line. Snowcat was always my favorite vehicle. So
that's awesome, dude.
Don't know why. I can't tell you why it was. There's no reason for it to be compared to some of the other ones.
And did you have a lot of G.I. Joe vehicles growing up?
I had a couple.
And you've been saying this since the line had basically started and we were getting the Haslabs. You wanted the Snowcat, and I used to laugh at that. Like, that's not happening. There's more important vehicles, but I
agree. I am just as shocked as everybody that it came out number 4 out of the Haslabs. It should. I would have thought years from now if the line made it that long.
So we're looking at the snow ski rockets. They both have skis on them. Is that
the Snowketos?
Snowketos? Mosquitoes.
I had a lot of G.I. Joe vehicles. Me and my brother together did.
Yeah.
But I don't think I had this, and maybe that's why I have it in my mind being a lot smaller than.
Oh. Like just a little, like
I remember.
Ridiculous. But
I mean, that's some Fast and Furious shit right there. Legitimately.
And the shape
they like Dom would be riding on the top of it. I've got a Dom figure, so when I inevitably cave and order this, I'll make sure to take a picture in 6 to 8 months.
Screaming family.
Now this is cool. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't really dug into these pictures. That's how about it I have been. But that modularity there is pretty cool. And I think there's a company out there that makes upgrades and attachments, and they'll go crazy with this.
Oh, I bet.
What company is that?
Gridiron.
Oh, I thought Chris was trying to promote himself. I'm sorry.
Well,
I mean,
I looked that Rattler over pretty good. I thought of a couple ideas of things, like an angled mount instead of just the up and down. It comes with the flat one and then up or down. So you can have it angled.
For the Dragonfly and the Rattler, I think there's a lot of possibilities to change the shape as to which they display with their stands. You just change that tip there, I like that snowy windshield. I think that's really
that is a neat touch.
Is that that's a separate windshield? That's not A stick?
No, that's
decal?
a sticker. That's a sticker.
Oh,
That's
is
a
it? Oh, it is.
decal, though. That is a decal. Yes.
Well, guys, if you can always just get that window snow from Christmas time and make your own. You frost the whole thing out.
There you go.
And I had seen some pictures. There was 2 blast effects, but it does turn out there was 4.
Oh, thank God!
Yeah. We
I can't wait to add those to my box of blast effects. I never use.
Buckets and bags of those. Yeah.
And there's, of course,
it's compartment.
Opening it up.
engine compartment with a crowbar, I think.
And you had a picture of it that the original had a panel that came off 2E, but it didn't really match up with these the same way. So I didn't.
In concept, it does. Sure.
Are
those tools inside there too?
Yeah. Does that come out? Like
Yes,
the little
those
wrench
tools.
and all that.
The tools come out. Yes, they are detachable.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome.
I forget what they are. I think one's a crowbar. Maybe one's an axe.
Looks
I'm
like
not
a
sure.
wrench and a
Wrench.
bar, yeah.
Pry bar and yeah, some sort of vague wrench. 10 millimeter, I'm sure of it.
And this was a.
I swear to God.
We've got a kitchen sink going on here.
What is happening here? Why? I don't. Listen. Let's think this through. Where are we using this piece of equipment? In the winter, in the snow? Why do we need a fucking ice chest on this thing?
They said it's supposed to be like
Hashtag
a
world
little,
building.
it's supposed to be a little cooking platform.
Okay, what's in there? Is that ice in there?
No, yeah, that's definitely ice. There's definitely ice in the back there. No, that definitely is ice.
So, we could just say
said it's ice.
we could just say they left water in it last time that they used it, and well, this is what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
I just made up a fucking story to explain it away, guys. What the fuck?
Well, they need some clean ice. Maybe there's nothing but yellow snow around them.
Oh, that's
snow
true.
job.
yeah, I'm just saying you can't. Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, there's gonna be a snow
maker.
job on the team, so there's no telling what's going on up there. And this gear walk mode that it's establishing here, I was not aware that it could, for some reason, do this. When could someone please explain to me? What's the
You
application?
gotta
here?
bounce down on some snow serpents.
Is this when you're taking off of a cliff and you're going to land with your no suspension having snow vehicle off? I'm sorry, guys. Look, I think this is fucking great. I'm just coming up with dumb shit to say. I do really think it's cool, and I'm sure I'll end up getting it on the last day like I usually do.
it does have those tilting treads, which is cool, I think. And then of course it's got lights. All has
Lights all over the body of the vehicle and the interior.
That's a lot of lights.
And
But
what do they say on the stream? That's not the final color of those. I think they said they were going to be a different color. Does anyone remember that?
But I like that it's all detailed.
Not
and it's
particularly,
just
but you might be right.
colors or something
Yeah.
simple.
It looks good. It looks like a good
A lot of detail to look at.
console. Nice.
You know, and listen, once again, and this is just broadly stated about things in general. This is cool. And for the first week or so, when I'm super hyper fixated on having it, I'll play with it. And then maybe when somebody comes over that doesn't have it, that wants to see it, I'll turn it on again.
That's fair.
But I don't know. It's cool though.
And different options on opening it up.
That's a lot of moving clear parts. Yikes.
Well, they did it with the what's the Dragonfly? That's got a interesting.
Yeah, and I had some problems. I had some problems with it.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
What problems did you have? Wouldn't
I'm
flash.
trying to remember. I think one of the hinges was stuck.
Mm.
And that stuff's, super easy to break.
That's true. Clear plastic.
It could have just been user error. Big meaty paws over here.
But that does look cool.
That yellow.
There is Mr. Frostbite. Compare also with next to the vintage model.
Yep.
You get a little bit more with the classified. Obviously, you get a couple pairs of
That
goggles.
Can you zoom in onto the head sculpt on the new figure? Whoever's driving this boat.
Yes.
There you go. That dude did some weird shit. I'm just saying. He wasn't the only one that was vying for the snow job name. I'm just gonna put it out
Like
there.
he comes with a coffee mug or
Yeah,
That is
travel.
nice.
like they all have something like that.
Finish line didn't come with that one, did it? But it looks good.
They hadn't perfected the technology of miniature coffee at that point. I do like that they generically kept the same gun, although the special curved barrel on the original one probably added to some ballistic challenges. But and I love when they do this, though, for real. This is something I do love. Like, the dude's got these built-on goggles that have never come off his entire life.
Yep.
And now we've got him with the goggles over here, the loose goggles.
That's been one of the strengths of the line overall. All the little knives, pistols, grenades, all that kind of stuff that can come off now. And I do like the choice of swapping from the cream, I'll call it off cream color, I don't know, to the like the brown fur.
Yeah.
And it does match up with that first snow job that they've put out, because of course we'll expect they'll put out another at some point. But I think it's a good look overall.
Yeah.
No, it looks
And
good
then
looking figure.
double goggles. One for his head and one for his face.
One's a VR set and one's just a regular set.
Apple Vision
Mm-hmm.
looks good.
So
And there's tier number 1, which
No.
will open up at
Yep.
10,000.
Can I say something harsh here?
You can say whatever you want, my friend.
I don't give a fuck about this.
I got to tell you what. I do and I don't. I don't necessarily give a fuck about it being in the winter coat or any of that. But both of the figures coming in the winter clothing, I think what's smart there is you're going to get these bodies first through here. I think you'll see them again because there's a lot of episodes in the movie, for that matter, where they do wear this kind of clothing. And you're just going to see it with other characters, and you have your whole winter squad, I suppose. But what I really... Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. And we'll touch on, she also comes with a hot beverage. Nobody's coming with a cold drink for that ice cooler on the that's built into the Snowcat.
It's called iced coffee.
Not in a cup like that. It's not.
Was that the soundboard, or was that legitimately New York City fireworks?
No,
that's his fireworks.
that might be his or mine because we got
Yeah.
some going off too.
So I'm going to skip on to the next one. What I like here is when we compare this to the other Lady J and then upcoming Cover Girl, the legs, like the head is new, but the legs and boots, that's all new. And all that tells me is these legs, that head, they're going to be on an updated, proper Lady J.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. This just tells me this is the pre-tool of some sort for that.
I know that's probably a digital render, but the head sculpt on the new figure is fantastic.
It's pretty on point.
If they all actually paint them like that at the factory.
Yeah, if it looks like that,
Yeah.
for sure. And it was funny because I think they picked these two particular versions of Flint and Lady J because I did watch an episode on that streaming Joe channel they have on Hasbro, and I think it's supposed to be those two in that particular episode.
Well, there's one where they, they have it, and the Snowcat, activates itself, or so they say. It was sabotage. And it's driving all over the place.
Yeah,
they're,
that one.
They're dressed like this, and they got the big polar bear in that one too, which I'm excited to get with the.
Then there's the polar bear coming.
Yep.
It'll work perfectly with this.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I'm back. If you hear any more fireworks, it's just the war zone that is going on outside.
I do like that cover girl.
Yeah. Do you have any more for Lady J before I move on? Okay, moving on. So we got the Flint, and I love those eggs.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck are we doing here?
We got a coffee pot. We got coffee, of course. We've got a pan of eggs, and we got some sausage.
Sausages, hot dogs.
And some guns. He's ready. He's happy.
So we get we get a sidearm. We get his classic pump shotgun, which really made no sense from a tactical standpoint, but that's okay. And then the classic G.I. Joe rifle, which is just the laser gun. Red lasers, blue lasers. So here's my thought on these two. This would have been a great SDCC set or something to do with these and the polar bear and all that, or I don't like these stretch goals.
See so I already said they're gonna inevitably. Well, we already have the retro Flint coming, right?
Yeah.
But I think so. My suspicion is the Lady J will come with that same Flint, but they'll both be in the Sunbow cartoon colors this time.
Mm.
The retro Flint is still toy colors with the black shirt and the camo coloring, and I'll come up on that here because it's just a palette reversal as far as what the dominant color is, like between the brown and the green. And also the legs on this are interestingly different again. And I noticed.
Yeah, they've kind of done away with the knee pads a little bit, made them a little thicker.
Yeah, it looks a little more built into the pants.
It
And
looks
they
like
have, both of them had thicker hands, so I'm figuring they might have a special winter glove mold.
Boy, those hands on the right.
those that
Yeah,
Flint on the right
violent.
looks like they're playing a circle game, and we just lost.
Oh man,
They've come a long way.
I do agree
Yep.
with Chris. I'm not too excited about these two particular stretch goals.
well, the cool thing about it is,
The accessories are nice. If you're figure photography, even great. You got more stuff to do stuff with, but sit them around a campfire, cook some eggs,
Why not?
eat some ice.
eat some
Look at
ice.
this.
Nice.
They're effectively, like a pre-tool of some sort for newer Lady J, and I'm sure the winter coats and all that will show up on other characters elsewhere.
Well, that's what Glinda the Good Witch was, a pre-paint of the new Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it
Pretty
was.
much.
Well, and the cool thing about these is, NJCC, they'll be gone. They'll be gone. I mean, every time I've sold the extra figures, they're gone with like first thing.
There's definitely going to be people that want these. Like, I don't think anyone's going to have a hard time selling them. But instead of putting a desirable character or potentially more desirable character in there, that if somebody was not willing to get this, like if you never had a Snowcat, maybe you're not, so interested to get Frostbite. He might not be a memorable thing to you if you never had one. But a character like Blizzard, who was sold by himself, where, his name has come up, why isn't he with this? Or a Snowjob, who has already come out. But Blizzard, they'll do him on his own. That's where that should happen. And where these are niche things, getting them in winter clothes, I think this is exactly where it should be. You're right about it being a San Diego exclusive or, some sort of potential like that. But this is just the same. I think it's extra. That's not why.
It's extra as fuck.
I think a lot of people are here to get the Snowcat. And if the determination of buying it or not is Flint and Lady J taking up a slot of something, I don't know. Okay.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I don't.
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth there.
Right. I'm fine with them doing this kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong, and it's just not for. This doesn't drive me to want to buy it if that's what their intention was.
You better get that door.
Ding
Somebody
dong.
got company.
Is that E? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me. The kids are running in and out.
You better count fingers and toes. I forgot what I was at with that, but yeah, but I can see it from both sides. I mean, it fits the theme, but I don't know. It doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah.
That's
How does
fair.
this
And here's
excite you?
the Bivouac. Got your tent.
I think Gridiron's already come out with this.
Did they?
It's fine.
No, they
I mean,
really
I remember when I was a kid, you could buy the little sets like this for like, I don't know, they were like the same price as a figure for some of them, the little accessory packs, like this kind of stuff. I distinctly remember having a
green
3/4 one of those. Yep. That's cool. Is that above the figures?
It's in between.
Okay.
No, that's
Flint
the
is,
second tier, 12,000. Flint is 14. That's the last one.
Yeah. And then I got this, picture of it with the original.
Well, there you go. Yep.
And all that's really new is a little campfire, and you get the fish. Which those
What is
fish,
that?
by the way, I didn't have a good picture of it, but they're pretty neat. They had the scales and all that stuff printed on them. They could have given you a
Jesus
solid
Christ.
piece of plastic.
What
So
is
they
that?
could- or they could have just not done the fish. It's fine.
Sure.
What is that above the fire? The fire. What is that?
A Bible.
I mean, is it? I don't know. It looks like a book.
I mean, it's definitely a book, I think, but I don't know what kind of book.
Somebody in the chat, tell us what that is. We didn't pay attention during the live stream.
They don't need a fishing pole. They have guns.
I think didn't Lady J have that or one of them?
I don't. You have to scroll back. I'm not sure.
She's got the little
she does.
there.
Yeah. There you go, Eric Z.
So yeah, they got it. And you got all the tools and everything.
They're ready for anything.
Rocket launcher.
Fucking GI Joe people.
You got the bench. And this is a different pattern color. I wonder if they might do a solid green one separate, or if they'll reuse this in any capacity. But I kind of wonder if this is just a way for them to test this sort of market, people's response to getting something like this, see what the excitement is, and if they start doing this on Pulse or something as exclusives. Because I would love to see all those sort of little sets.
Yeah.
I think you'll get more of that because I mean, remember they're doing that Trench Viper with that.
Yeah,
Porta potty.
With the porta potty, and they're doing another one with that Steel Core member. So I could see more types of things like this coming out.
But there's a lot of third party stuff like this.
Yeah, of course we've got your Gridiron who's pumping out new stuff every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I got for pictures. So let me get rid of this.
All right, so let's talk about this. It's $325.
Oh, camera's still frozen, huh?
Yeah, let's leave it off. It's fine.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's $325. It's the exact same price as the Rattler was last year. The year before that, we had the Falcon or Dragonfly, for what, $275?
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah,
and his tank is $300. So it's
right
around that.
in the ballpark.
It's in that ballpark. Is this worth $325? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the size of the Rattler, the price of the Rattler, you got what, 3 figures with the Rattler also, right?
Yep.
You're getting 3 figures with this one. I know that we got 5 figures with the His tank at 300, but that was what, 4 years ago?
That was a different time, different place.
Yeah, you know, the Dragonfly was 275, and you got patches. No, I'm sorry. The patches are coming with the Rattler.
You got
listen,
for Rattler.
Those patches are really nice. I saw the pack they were in today and didn't open them, but they look really nice.
It's okay. I would rather a camping set than patches, me personally. Because I'm not going to use either one really, to be honest. Like, it's just going to sit in a box.
If you're into the dioramas, I think it's perfect. I think it fits.
That's a lot of space if you're going to do a diorama with the Snowcat and some kind of scene around it. That's a lot of real estate. Just the Snowcat alone is going to take up a lot of space.
No, you're right.
But yeah, no. Look, like I said, this is an emotional, personal attachment to a Snowcat. It was my favorite vehicle, so I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could give a fuck about the tiers, to be honest. Most of the tiers, in all these Joes, I really don't care about night versions of repaints of this, and I don't need these figures. Like, I never did. You know,
let's talk about the tiers for a minute. Let's talk about the tiers because the last one, the Rattler had patches, obviously, but it also had the Gunner and another version of
a Baroness.
Dragonfly had Glenda the Good Witch. It had 2 versions of Night Force characters. And you know, to me, I mean, these figures that they're giving us aren't really that much different from that. I mean, no one really
exactly.
Did you give a shit about the Night Force figures that came with the Dragonfly? I didn't.
No, I sold them.
Glenda, I mean,
no, I sold her.
Who?
I mean, is Glenda the only original name character we've gotten in tiers that there was no previous repaints for or after? Like, it was.
She was a pre-paint.
Well, we didn't get a Wild Bill yet, I guess.
Well, I'm not talking about. I mean, in the unlocks, the tiers.
Okay.
I think you're right.
Out
yes,
of the
I
tiers.
think so.
Yeah.
So they've been doing this in all of them. It's here's another version of a character that you already have.
Mhm.
You know, so the tiers have never really been. I mean, it makes sense when they're troop builders. It's
Yeah.
easier to deal with.
Yeah, and it was exciting. It was exciting when they did the his tank because it was the first time.
Exactly,
You know.
and they even gave you a voting option. People
Yeah.
let you participate in what you got.
Yeah.
That was all nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Way back when, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
People mention characters like Iceberg and Blizzard, and maybe even redoing Snow Job. Someone did mention something that I think would have been good was there was a Stalker figure that was
With the canoe.
with the canoe they could have done.
He was
with
he
that.
was dressed in all white, and he came with a canoe. It was
But
a
I
single
think-
carded release. I mean, it would have been that would have been something that I could see.
I think
Sticking
that
in
would
with
sell
this.
well on its own. But when I say
Mm,
the interesting thing here is having these guys in the coats. If they put that 2-pack out by itself, I'm sure people would buy it, but I don't think it would sell the same way. But because it's here and you're already getting them and you're already getting the Haslab, it's creating a different desire. So you have the people that would buy that sort of stuff anyway, and now you have the people because they have that. Now they're going to buy it because they already have it, not because they would have bought it a first time. They already have it. Now they might buy more because maybe they're considering that diorama. It's a trick.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, I
But-
did not convince Chris.
No, I get marketing. Listen, and that just seems so niche. I don't know.
It's getting your
It-
toes
it-
in the water. That's what they're
it
doing.
does. Like the repaint stalker. If they ever do it with the canoe, it's very niche. Being a snow character, not a troop builder. I could see that peg warming for that reason alone, plus other reasons.
Yeah.
It can peg warm, so like this might have been a better spot to slide that in if that was ever done,
Right.
as opposed to these
Agreed.
characters. But I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, you were
I
never
don't
going to
care.
get Iceberg.
This is
No.
Like
just
they
real
weren't going to
quick,
put original characters behind unlocks. They just
This is a
weren't going to
GI
do
Joe
that.
day. This is not a Motu day. So that could wait.
Jeez. But
Fair enough.
yeah, I mean, me personally, I get it. I mean, you're right. Maybe it is a little bit niche for some people. I think some people did want a tank, a Mobat, or whatever. I think I can understand people wanting something more different. I think it's worth the price. I do, regardless of the tiers. Like I said, the tiers are to me are no different than the ones we've gotten in the past. It's not that big of a deal. But shit, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Someone continue for me, please.
Question:
So
what do you think next year is going to be? Lands, air, or do we finally get sea? Do they
It's
do
gonna
the hydrofoil so then they could come back with the whale? Or because
so I think I might do the hydrofoil as just
that's a big
the $100.
The
pre-order
hydrofoil is
release.
a big. It's a,
Well, yeah,
Boy.
it is. Well, I had a thought.
Boy.
I had a thought about we were talking about the Mobat, which is an M1 Abrams tank, and who made the F-14? Is it Lockheed Martin or whoever made that? I mean, yeah, they kind of got away with it back then, but could they make a Lockheed Martin SR-71 Blackbird with a booster box on top of it? I mean, I don't know in this day and age if they'd have to pay licensing fees or if those companies even want their name attached to things like that, right? I don't know. That could be a factor. There's something I thought of.
our friend Tyler at 3D Printing Forge is in the middle of doing Ignite Raven. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, Pinkerton, but how big it is.
This is the I've had these files, and I honestly, when he sent me those pictures, I had already started chopping the files up on my bamboo. But this is just the shuttle that goes on top of it, and here, like just to show you, like this is a Cobra Trooper with a skull head on. Don't ask too many questions about that, but it's huge. It's huge. I'm printing the back part of this right now. So
Yeah, you talk about
I mean,
space. You don't have space, but
yeah, but I like making shit. So
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Be fun when you get it done.
well, yeah. I honestly just wanted to print out the shuttle first, just to kind of get the aesthetic and make sure I was happy with the size. because I didn't scale these. I got them. I got them pre-scaled. So, yep. Thanks, Scott. Good old Northrop.
Now, anything more about the Haslab before moving on?
I just hope it comes as quick as this Rattler is supposedly coming.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
excited,
a nice
but
change.
that's a me thing.
Well, I mean, it seems to be a year, basically, right? Which, I mean, they haven't really dragged their feet on any of them, or so. Even the Star Wars stuff is on time. So we're in the window.
This one's coming out right about a year after date, but a lot of them they've come right up into
End of year,
December.
right around, yeah.
Well, you're right. You're right. So it is a little
Some
longer.
people, I guess, going into January, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm glad I sold his tank in the Dragonfly to make room for this.
Well, there you go.
Well, there's that big ugly castle up there. You could have knocked that down. And,
That classic castle race go. Nah, I'm good. That stays right there.
Keep that one.
That you guys can bury me with.
After I'm done with it. Okay.
That's dirty.
Wolfie's away for just a second, but our next topic, we were going to get into having collections and just completely liquidating them. Sometimes you pick up a collection and maybe you get it to completion, maybe somewhere along the way, and it's something that's still an ongoing thing. You're tired of it, and you just push it all out. And it's, what brings about that decision. And I thought about this because I know Wolfie, just as myself, enjoys Ninja Turtles. He had the Super 7 Turtles, which I saw he was letting go of, just the whole thing, one big lot. And I thought, well, why? Like, and I had these too. I had the first couple of waves, and I had reasons for that. But I didn't go the distance. Like, I saw how many waves he had. It looked like it was right up till current. So I was surprised. And they're still kind of putting them out. So what is it what makes us do that as as collectors? When do we determine something's not good enough? When do we think it's the time to let it go? Is it the money? Is it the space? Could be lots of things.
Space definitely plays a factor into it for me. So does interest in the line, right?
Yeah.
It's like since I've started collecting, it started with MP Transformers, right? Started with Masterpiece, and other lines that I started collecting. But I got out of Masterpiece and I went into Legends. I used to collect the NECA Aliens figures. That entire line is gone. Black Series, I used to collect Black Series. That entire collection is gone. I started Motu Classics late. Aftermarket prices on those things were insane. I completed it, and a couple months later, it was out the door. So I've definitely done this a few times already. It's space, it's another company now is making a better version. That's what it was with Classics. Masterverse started coming out. And then they finally started showing and making characters that looked the way I wanted them and I was interested in. And I knew I could still get a very pretty penny for those classics. So that's why those went, right? Legends was a space thing. Once I started realizing how much space Masterpiece was going to really take up for me, it was like, there's no way. I'm kidding myself here if I think I'm going to have all the combiners in MP scale,
right?
And where I live and how I live. Like I'm in an apartment in the city in New York. It just doesn't work for me. And like Super 7 is another company. I'll get into it. Like I was doing the Thundercats. I was honestly not happy with their Thundercats. And the minute Wile E. Cat came out, I got the last one in and it was up on eBay as an entire lot in 2 days. And
Hmm.
even opened the last one.
Yep.
I just wanted to wait for it to come in so that I could just sell it as here's like a full, your mutants, your Thundercats, your main cast, and a couple of the other ones that they threw in, gone, and it's sold immediately. Got a good price for them, more than what I paid for all of them together. Out the door, gone. No regrets. Yeah, like I'm fickle, I guess. I don't know. With the space I have to rotate, and I don't like keeping too much stuff in storage. Like, if I like, what's the point of me having this if I can't display it?
NJCC.
Oh yeah. That's where a lot of my storage room has gone to.
So like I still have the only big thing. I mean, I have a couple totes with some random stuff in it. I still have my Haslab Sentinel. I'm not getting rid of that. I love that thing, even though it's not on display right now. That's in the closet. And if I can't find a shelf for the Snowcat, that's gonna go in the closet. I'm not selling that. Unless it ever. I mean, if I have it in the closet for 2 years, and that Snowcat is pulling Unicron prices, and we might have to think about it. But
Yeah.
with the way most of these Joe Haslabs are in the aftermarket, this is something I want. So.
Well, I'm a fluid collector, not jars or anything weird like that. Not that kind of fluid. But, I think back to like when I seriously got into collecting in when I met the realm basically in like 2014, 2015. I had an aliens collection. There was I can't remember the name of it, some sort of like FYE kind of place down south that was closing out, and they had a bunch of the 2-packs of the different characters. You remember they did some 2-packs of those, and I got them for like $15 a piece on clearance at these places. And I remember when the Newt figure fiasco happened, where you couldn't get it at SDCC, it was impossible to get. I was like, fuck this, I'm done. And I sold it all. And then I remember being the first time I went to Toy Con, at the NECA table, they had like dozens of those fucking figures.
Yeah, I bought one, and you told me, you were like, yeah, this is why I got out.
That's why I got out.
And they were selling it for like $20.
Mm-hmm.
Like those cons helped me get into that line, because they were selling those older figures at basically retail price.
Yeah.
And they were going for crazy prices on eBay. So
shout
out to NECA going to Toy Con and NJCC back then.
I mean, I've gone through, I had a ton of Black Series. I've sold a bunch of Black Series. I keep buying Black Series. I haven't bought any lately, but yeah, I did. I bought one at BotCon actually. But I've got rid of a ton of my Mezcos. And this isn't the reason I'm sour on it, but the market's gone in that. And it's the same thing as, you can buy an Optimus Prime, third-party Optimus Prime from 5 years ago for probably half the retail price, because there's been 12 better ones that have come out since then, right? So, the Mezco Wolverine, we'll say, I'll never forget. We were looking at that on Enter the Realm, and Dust said he looked like he had on his pants for physical education, so they could throw around the medicine ball. But like I have all of those Wolverines, like the SDCC one, I paid, I don't know, an embarrassing amount of money for, probably triple retail, because I wanted to have it. And then they've recently come out with an updated version, and nobody wants the old one anymore. So, but it's that chasing the best version of things, I think, in a lot of the cases.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, so this conversation was actually inspired Gort, because then Gort saw that I was selling my Super 7 Turtles. I originally got into those because I was looking for some Ninja Turtles. The only other option at the time was NECA. And NECA had two things at the time going against it for me. One, I heard so many horror stories about their quality and things snapping, and their customer service being absolutely god awful. And then also it was also the aesthetic. Like Super 7 was doing updated versions of the original Playmates figures, and I thought those just looked really good. Like you look at the Mutagen Man compared to the NECA Mutagen Man. The Super 7 Mutagen Man, for all its faults in articulation, looks pretty interesting in my opinion.
They can sculpt the figure.
They can sculpt the figure, but in the beginning, this was like in the very beginning when they were just making Ultimates. We didn't know what they would be like. I mean, we knew that there was going to be joint limitations, like they were going with the old school single joints. But we didn't know what the quality was going to be like. And as I've learned, and all of us have learned over time, it's really a crapshoot with them. And most of the time, it was leaning towards like this sucks because you were buying figures that could not stand. Like the ankles were giving out, the hips were weak. In some cases, like I have a Hachiman figure where the legs are completely locked. They will not move. They're just something going on in there. But but yeah, I mean, as time went on, like I was just upset with the quality of it, and I was starting to look more and more NECA. I'd heard from people that I trust more and more that their things were getting better, and the cartoon aesthetic actually kind of grew on me. I didn't like it at first; it looked kind of a little dopey for my taste, but it's grown on me to the point where I actually do prefer it. So I just said, and fuck it, I'm not settling for mediocre bullshit anymore. I'm just going to sell my stuff and collect something that's actually decent quality. So that's kind of why that happened.
Interestingly, the way you're talking about the turtles, I was in on the NECA ones from the start because I do like the cartoon aesthetic, and I'll readily recognize like Mutagen Man. He's a pretty good example of this, and I would say Slash, like the toy Slash, is incredible, and
no question.
Slash leaves a lot to be desired. It's a very different design, is really all that it comes down to. He looks dookie, but where I had been on the first couple waves of Super 7 Turtles, there were two things. I was trying to cherry pick, and then the plastic quality comes into question with Super 7. They didn't paint the faces on something like the April O'Neil, so you have this very transparent plastic for the skin. I didn't like the way that looked, so I was like, I can't have that on a shelf. I get rid of this. I got rid of them all, and I had like 8 of them, right? But I was in on the cartoon Turtles, and then where I wanted that Playmates look, I just went heavier into the vintage line. I already had a whole lot of my originals anyway, and I thought, let me just keep picking those up, when I see a good one at a show, or like, running in an Eternia Dreams or something, because I did grab some the last trip I had made, but it was like a refocus in that case. And then there's, he mentioned something like Black Series. Despite all the hate that I give, I am a big Star Wars fan, begrudgingly at this point, maybe in the Disney era. But Black Series is it's not a very good product. They look okay on a shelf. The sculpts are fine for the most part, but they don't stand very well. They tend to fall over. And they don't look good when they pose. And it's the way the articulation is designed because they're trying to keep that movie aesthetic, and it's a Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And
I think I think a lot of that limitation comes from the forced aesthetic coming first, right? I mean, the Mon Mothma figure notwithstanding, right?
I'm going to pull something up here just from the side, but I love the old Kenner figures, and I picked up from this company, the Next 17. They were doing, Kenner style figures for things that never came out. So this is the Wolfman from the original Cantina scene, and I have a bunch more guys. I'm not going to show them all, but I was more interested to have these retro style figures than the Black Series on a shelf because I have the nostalgia for these. They make me happy. So it was an easy choice. Let's get rid of the Black Series. And unfortunately, they don't sell for particularly much because I am not alone in being an upset Star Wars fan. These things are experience now. Nobody gives a shit about Star Wars the same way.
I think I've got 2 totes full of packaged, boxed or carded, whatever figures. And then I Gord, I have that tote that me and Brian went through that random Sunday afternoon, right? And I bought some here and there, and I bought at BotCon. It's it's like a nurse droid from Ahsoka. He's got like a little apron on, I think. I don't know. It was $10, and it's a droid. I'm like, oh, that's fine. So I bought one. but just random stuff like that. What tempts me are those freaking ships, those Jazzwares ships.
Yeah,
I have to fight that off like I'm fiending for crack every time I go to the store. Like, don't do it.
I was looking around to see if I had one to grab. I sold a bunch of those at NJCC. I'd gotten out on them because they started just doing a lot of repaints, and we're seeing less original ships. Is how it felt. And then it's a lot of Disney Plus era shit. I don't want crap from the TV shows. There's a lot of really good ships that I think they're just passing on, and they might get to it eventually, but not right now. And I don't have faith in this brand because it all goes to clearance. So I feel like it's not selling well. It's hard to it's hard to tell.
I don't see that much on clearance. I don't know.
It's always going to sale, always going to clearance at some point. Usually in the Targets. Walmart lets it linger for a bit more, but when they go to clearance at Walmart, it's much less. It's like $5.
You didn't need about 15 or 20 of those troop carriers, did you?
No.
Because I've seen that on clearance everywhere.
No.
It's like, because nobody knows what it is.
And there's also something to be said about selling a collection to fund a new collection.
Yeah.
Sell to survive.
When I wanted to get into classics, the Motu Classics line at those inflated prices during mid-pandemic, a lot of that was funded by me selling off my MP collection. Right, so it didn't hurt as bad. It was just like I'm trading one for another. What would I rather have? I'm starting with the Transformer Legends, so I don't need these anymore. I could sell these Dinobots at whatever price they were. Like I sold my Sludge for almost $700 a week before they announced a release. Thank God, I got lucky with that one. I know the person who bought it. Whoever you are out there, sorry, but that's just how the game goes.
Yep.
Tell me about it.
You gotta just
you
gotta get it done.
I've done that, and now I have all the Transformers coming in from Show Z. I want to see what these are like. They ship Wave 1, and I don't know.
Oh,
those are the non-transforming G1 Autobots, a little bigger than Legends, blind box. But
now, is it really a Transformer?
I'm just
I don't want to. Yes, it is.
Like, look, they're they're superposable. You can do whatever you want with these. Like, they're cool.
Every time you say Aldi, I think you're going to the grocery store and getting these.
Me too.
That's from the mind.
Same.
It's funny. So yeah, I sold a pretty big collection last year, and if you were at NJCC, I unloaded all my G1.
That was one of the most amazing transactions I've ever gotten to secondarily witness in my life. Like that guy that cleaned you out.
I was as shocked as you were. I didn't know how to.
No, you were just like, it almost seemed like it hadn't happened. You were just like numb and shocked to it.
Gort and Joe had to talk me through that one.
Well, we've had 3 of these just like that. All Transformers. I had my entire table of Chug cleaned out the one show. What was it, Ralphie? Same thing. Like somebody came and cleaned him out. And then that was the exact same spot that Wolf was in, where somebody bought all the G1. So that spot.
Yeah, I was going to say, that table right there on the corner there.
Yeah.
You might have to start charging more for that one.
Right by the door, people. First thing you see, man.
Yeah.
But
I
mean, no, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I when I sold off my Masterpiece collection, and I was Transformerless for a while when I got into the Chug stuff, but when it actually got kind of good, and that was just, I was just frustrated with it, and I don't know. It just the Masterpiece just lost its appeal. I mean, I bought all those Hot Toys, I had DC, all the DC shit and Marvel shit and Star Wars, and I sold all the Marvel and all the DC, and now I have the Star Wars stuff. I'm just a psychopath.
Now, in terms of making these decisions, and I'm scrolling back up here, I seen the question from Dormammu, more or less asking about the price. When it's I clicked the wrong fucking one. Where is that? Chat's moving. If the current market dictates, like if it's going for high enough and it's something you might otherwise enjoy and keep, are you going to sell it just because it's the big bucks? And I could tell you, I've definitely done that with things.
Yeah, I mean, especially if if it's something new. If I haven't gotten to it yet, or I'm on the fence about it, and the market shoots up. Yeah,
It
definitely.
depends on what the item is, and what are we talking about? Big bucks, right? You know, I got a snake eyes here with timber. I don't have no intentions of selling it, but you tell me, hey, Eric, that timber and snake eyes is going for like $1,000 loose. That's just going right on eBay.
Yeah.
It all depends on, for me, what it is and what, how attached I am to it and what's the actual money, what's the price. Everything's for sale. Look,
Yep.
and in the end, everything's for fucking sale.
You're right. Yeah, if somebody came in here right now and gave me a number for it all, and they were going to box it up and take it out, I'd be done. I'd just tell you right now, I'd be done with this stuff.
Probably.
I think we all. I mean, I think honestly, if somebody walked in our house and said, "I will take all of your toys, and I'll box them all up and get them out of here," what's the
The
number?
number's right, yeah, but now the question is, what would you do then afterwards?
No, I would just start over because I'm a psychopath.
Exactly. That's the thing. I could be like,
I just pick something different.
I just got a ton of money selling all this. You know what I always wanted to do? I always wanted Mondo He-Man. So then let me start tracking down Mondo He-Man, and it would just roll into another collection.
Yeah. Chris, what would be the first thing you pick up if you were starting brand new?
Like in this scenario that I had sold everything.
Yeah. If you got all your experience with everything you have, I don't think you're buying any of the same thing again, right?
Man, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would probably actually get into more prop stuff, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
More prop collecting, yeah, and creating stuff. Like, and I'd probably just buy a bunch of 3D printers. I don't know.
Be able to make a ton of stuff. There's a lot of files out there.
Oh yeah, there is.
With everything at the shows, a lot of prop weapons mostly.
Well, and a lot of articulated dragons. I don't know if you've seen how many different colors there are and sizes and
little Buddhas and such.
The articulated dragon is the reason Etsy changed their rules, like legitimately, because that's all it was people selling other people's files. So, anyways. What about you, Gort? What would you ultimately wind back up in, do you think?
Oh. The Dino
Heroes of Cybertron.
The Dino yeah. I think I'm good on that. The Dino Riders are the only thing I have that I don't think would be part of a sale like that.
Okay.
But let's say it was. It would probably be that, and maybe I would just go ahead and get them all boxed this time instead, like
nice.
Box. Maybe that would be the difference. Yeah. But speaking as to Dormammu's question, is there a price on things? You see the price skyrocket on these things. I had long time ago. I did have a box collection. I sold that when I met my wife, and that was like our apartment and furniture and all kinds of things and just moving costs and such. And then the price quadrupled and might as well have quintupled or whatever at this point. It's crazy now. But I had sold the Stegosaurus for, closer to $1,000 boxed because, I still had one of these mint unopened.
Wow.
And that was just a fun display piece that I had. But I was like, no, the money's right. I have a loose one that walks. I can enjoy it. So it's fine. I think that would
fucking Dino Riders.
I fucking love this.
I don't know what I would do if what I would get into, because like I don't want to collect anything vintage. Like, it's just pain in the ass, and like a lot of that shit's delicate. I mean, like O-ring GI Joes and rubber leg He-Man or whatever. Like, I don't want to get anything vintage. I don't do like any other scale. Like, I don't like 1/6 statues. Like, I don't know what I would do. I really don't think I would get into anything else. Any other toy? I just can't think of anything.
I would just sit here all day and play on my phone and argue with people on the internet. That's all I do. That's all I do. That's the thing. Like we all say, we would just be like free. No, you wouldn't, because this is what we like to do. It has to always be something. And I think, and Eric, I know this is true for you, and it's true for me. I enjoy the chase a whole lot more than I enjoy getting there. The result at the end. So you finish something, and or you start to get close to finishing it. Even you're like, well, if I never finish it,
And
as far as the result, this comment right here, this is what it tends to be. It's all worth less than you paid.
Well, right.
A lot of
and most of us at NJCC, when we're selling, it's what's Brian's line? My regret is your reward, right? And not even necessarily that. Let's say, for example, I'm like, you know what? I did completely lose my mind. I bought way too many of these Sharktacons. But man, I've enjoyed playing with these things, and I don't know where some of their sticks are either. So I'm going to sell these for $10 a piece, and they'll be gone before regular emission happens because I've enjoyed them. But I'm definitely not selling my Sharkies. Send me Sharkies.
The Sharkies became one too many when it came from a man with no stocks.
Oh, sir, they've multiplied. You can actually see the horde right here.
I see.
Plus, I've got one here.
Chris, you were talking about
that's all time. Like, great story.
Since I've been collecting, the most fun I had collecting was when I was hunting down those Motu classics. Mine was dead, and it's trying to find the characters I wanted at a price I was willing to pay.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook groups 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, seeing who's posting what, selling what, trying to jump in right away when you see a price that you want. And there's more stories that go into this, some people I've heard about.
I mean, and it's just like me with The Simpsons. I've been so many times. I've been places, either myself or I remember being with Brian. I think one time at this, it's a toy show it's kind of up there close in PA to Chan and JD, but it's like there's two rooms. One's like vintage toys, and one's like vintage like automotive collectible stuff, like model cars and stuff. But then, like, there's also, like, really, really old, like, 60s and 70s shit there. But I remember, like, this is right when, like, you started to see Legions on the secondary market really heavy. And there was a guy who had those, and he had something I think you needed. I think Brian bought it for you, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, I remember that. That was a cool time.
Brian had found something. I don't remember what it was, but Brian had found something for me. A lot of people were definitely helping, but it was fun. But when I got the very last figure I needed was that Scare Glow, and I bought it from Attorney of Dreams on one of his live sales for $400 sealed, and that hurt. It kind of soured me on the entire line, having to pay that much money for something that was once $20. And they were classics. They're not the greatest action figures to begin with. They weren't. And I get this $400 figure in, and me being who the fuck I am, I still rip it off the card to put it on the shelf. Something was wrong with it. It didn't glow. And I was just like, why did I feel like dirty right now that I spent this money on this one figure?
I felt like so this. Thanks, TikTok shop.
Yep.
I did so well with getting good prices on everything else, but you know what? All I did was, when I decided to get out, I dumped it to Wolf. Wolf bought it from me.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should have a fund, and everyone gets money every month, and you have a collection, and then once a year you randomly draw someone else's collection, and you have to figure out how to swap collections. Wow. But whatever it is, you have to continue to spend your allotted money on that particular collection until, I don't know. Anybody? No? Okay. Think about this. It would be like the gift swap game, but also like pen pals, and You guys got 4 friends that like making money because those are things that might be turned into a pyramid scheme. Oh, sorry, guys.
Chris, I might need you to write that down and send it to me so I can read it.
Well, I don't remember,
I'm
so
trouble
you
following
can
that
watch it. You can watch it back. Watch it back, live and live in color forever.
Brink had a question earlier that if you were to start over, what would you avoid? And yeah, I'd avoid anything that was like super god awful expensive. Like I wouldn't repeat what I did with Motu Classics again. That's for sure.
It's burned a few of us.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't fall into that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I would probably also avoid anything Super 7. They're the only ones doing Thundercats and Silverhawks right now, but you know what? I'll live without them.
What would I avoid?
In hope.
I would definitely avoid a lot of the not all, but a lot of the Star Wars lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would have stuck with 3 3/4 and really curated that properly. There's so many versions of things.
Yeah, I've actually thought about a 3 3/4 collection of the Star Wars, but hell, they're just as expensive. I mean, if it's a space thing, sure, but they're almost as expensive to get now as a Black Series figure.
New ones are, but in a lot of cases, there's a lot of older stuff that's totally.
Oh, sure, there's a buff Chewbacca.
No, not that.
Oh, you don't want me to go? I tell you what I would do. I tell you what, I would collect Power of the Force.
And if you are getting a buff Chewbacca, it better be the right one.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can't think of anything right off. What about y'all?
I'd have avoided the classics, the Motu Classics, definitely. If I knew that, especially if I knew then what I knew now. I mean, when I first, this is another funny thing about classics. More warnings that I shouldn't have done it. When I got someone gifted me a Battle Cat, right, and that's where that's where it just started down the rabbit hole, right. I had found out about Attorney of Dreams doing live sales. I didn't even know who they were. That very first live sale that they did, I spent about $600 on a Friday night on a bunch of figures.
This back when he was in the garage.
Yeah, it was PowerCon weekend.
Okay.
What did they announce on that Sunday? A new 6-inch Masterverse line coming. After I had just spent $600 and a couple on Attorney of Dreams over the weekend, and it was like, I should have stopped then and just waited, because they did the Netflix stuff, and I was like, I want this shit, and I'm happy with classic.
Same.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I kept going, and I kept going, just not knowing knowing better, knowing that these companies are going to always expand and do other ones. I should have just fucking waited. But in retrospect, though, I did make more selling. So I made a profit off of it, enough of a profit that I took the family on vacation with that profit. So, but it's one of those lines I should have avoided. Black Series I should have avoided. Just never should have done it. Never should have done Black Series. And I should have kept my NECA collection. I wish I kept my NECA Alien collection. That's the only thing I've gotten rid of. I kind of regret. And it's just way too expensive to go back in for NECA stuff.
Yeah.
Not doing it. Not spending $200 on a Vasquez from Aliens.
No,
it's not happening. I bought her at retail price.
That figure's going for $200.
Pulling up comment real quick. I saw this and I see, what he's looking to avoid, but going back to what would you get, into, to start over? Definitely Lego. Not the licensed stuff. I always like their original, like, classic themes.
Yeah, me
Castle,
too.
Space, pirates. I like the imagination of Lego. Licensed stuff is the lack of imagination for me. But then I saw this too. That's fucking funny. That's a lot of collecting, but it's very real for Star Wars. You think like the Sand Troopers on Tatooine. Oh, orange pauldron, white one, black one, red one. And you got to buy the same toy. How much?
I feel that
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I wish I would have gotten in on in the beginning, but I know I would have regretted it, would have been the Mondo He-Man stuff, because it's so fucking big. I mean, it's beautiful, but like when I saw that Battle Cat and the size of that thing, I said, what the fuck am I gonna do with this?
Exactly.
Where the fuck am I gonna put this? And they're going deep, like they're just pumping out these characters. So, like, damn, I could have got like probably everybody I wanted from Mondo and had these beautiful figures that you can't really fucking pose and just stand on the shelf and take up space.
I mean, honestly, at that point, you should just get statues. Like
Yeah, before yes, you know.
I mean, like those Iron Studio statues are really nice.
That beautiful 3 Sentinel statue thing they did with all that absolutely beautiful set. Yes, but no, I'll stick with my Mattel shit.
This is good. What's the one figure that you regret buying?
Oh, it's simple.
Big regret.
Speaking of Attorney Dreams online sales,
Man, I'm gonna tell Alan on y'all.
I like Alan. I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding, man.
You know, they've got us.
Yeah.
New Frederick location coming later this year. I'm excited for that. So that's the mall I actually go to.
Yeah, I want to go to his thing one of these days. I really want to check his store out. But anyway.
Have you ever been when you're down?
No, I've never had time.
But they're having they're opening a new location in Frederick, yeah. So they're keeping, as far as I understand, they were leaving Gettysburg, coming down to Frederick, and then they're still gonna have the Westminster, which is the one that I always take people to.
Yeah, I'll get there one of these days. But for me, it was the Motu Classics Fisto for $350. I sold that and
some perverted dudes made that show, and they were on that documentary giggling to themselves.
Oh, I know. They created a lot of those names. They admitted they were on drugs. But I sold that. Didn't even get half of my money back for that one. So that's definitely one of my biggest regrets.
Scared low.
I'll tell you, one of mine. It's in my storage right now because it was too big to take to NJCC. It's the Haslab Ghost from Star Wars. That's not even really selling for retail now. So,
ooh,
really?
Yeah. And the box, like, if I put that in the back of my SUV, it's probably at least 2, if not 3 totes of other shit that I couldn't take. So I just didn't end up taking it.
Tied to the roof.
Buy those little hitch things and put it on there.
I've seen that box.
It's ungodly. Like, I don't know what I was thinking when I ordered it. I mean, I was thinking about the size of I've got the Razor Crest up there. You can't see it, but it's up there. I mean, it's big, but it's not that big. But Jesus, like, I kind of want to open it, but then I'm like, I put that fucking Haslab jet together today, and like, it doesn't come back apart. Like, once you put the tail in, it's in. Now you can probably unscrew it and take it apart, but I'm not trying to do that.
That's how I had to take apart the Dragonfly.
Oh, really?
And it's funny, if you watch the unboxing video for the Dragonfly, they what's his name from Hasbro, that's on the live streams. I forget I can't think of his name right now. He said you could take the tail off.
You can't.
You can't. It was Gun Bunny Customs watching one of his videos where I was able to see how to take it apart.
Shout out to Gun Bunny Customs. I mean, shouting out folks, right? What about you, Gort? What's your
I've been trying to think about it, and I have all kinds of regrets, but I can't think of anything like big time. Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Was it Pacific Rim related? Because
no.
Oh, you all went in on. Everybody was doing Pacific Rim.
Let me tell you a funny story about Pacific Rim. So I was buying those Bandai ones, and those were really good, right, at the time. And we went to NJCC, and the world famous NECA room was open. So I go in the NECA room, and they have 2 of the kaijus, and then they have the Gypsy Danger and one of the other figures. And keep in mind, this was after that second movie had come out, so these figures were like 5-6 years old. I get home, me and Mason get home from the show, and we're unpacking everything, and I just like ripped the boxes open. I was opening these figures, and the knees on both of them literally just crumbled in my hand, and I just immediately threw them in the trash. But the kaijus are hidden in my fucking yard. So if you're ever in my house wandering around and you see a kaiju in a tree, don't be surprised. There's my Pacific Rim story. That's another. What was that phase? The phase of life. Everybody was calling it back then.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Well, we're almost like an hour and a half, and you guys want to wrap it up? Any last final comments?
Well, I guess like because this is something that was a regret, but it was more a matter of disappointment. When I had the Haslab Proton Pack, that thing was really cool. It was fun, and I liked it, and I know that they have the new one coming now. Like you can get it again, but I got rid of it because it's fucking enormous, and I didn't know what to do with it. I don't know where to put it. It didn't.
Hang it on that door back there.
No, it sticks like it's not like a narrow thing. Like it's big.
Oh,
Like
I've never seen it.
Into it and knock it off a wall, because that was what a lot of people told me was put it on a wall. I was like, no, it sticks out really far, or like you'll just get snagged on the cable. But it just didn't work. It's just massive.
Just like a Rattler plane on my kitchen table.
It's like in a similar fashion, but different, because that like stand or fold the wing, or there's lots like you could flatten that to the wall differently.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But the Proton Pack, I didn't know what to do with it, so I had gotten rid of it. That was actually an NJCC sale.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah, the NJCC.
Yeah.
Well, people must just think, man, they always have some Haslab shit at that one group of tables, because we do.
There usually is.
I've seen, Derek and his Galactuses when he had them, but when he had them and he was selling them, someone's always getting rid of Haslab.
So I don't think we've told this story, Gort, about the Dragonfly. Was it the Dragonflies? Well, we both had them for sale last time.
You helped me. You hooked me.
Well, okay, so a guy had come. I had two people looking at my Dragonfly, and I think I had a price like $10 less than Gort. And I'm like, look, I went over to Gort. Was like, I got one sold. The other guy's supposedly going to get the money. I'm just going to send them to you if you'll sell it for $240 or whatever it was. And you're like, yeah, no problem. So I brokered us both selling the Haslabs.
Yeah.
I kind of sold the same person twice.
They came and bought it for more than I had it at sticker price.
Mm-hmm.
Like I sold it for $50.
No, that's right, because you were less than mine, but I had opened my box, is what it was. You had never opened your shipper, and people like don't know what the fuck it is. So I always bust the
this
shipper.
Guy took it and he got it on the ground, and he got it on all different directions of the box, like inspecting it to make sure there's not a puncture or anything anywhere. Like I was like, dude, it's in like 5 boxes. Shit. It's fucking fine.
Yeah, that's funny. Make sure he's not getting home with a box of VHS tapes.
I guess, like, and he doesn't need a minty box. He got yours. Like, what's the difference?
That's right. That was fun, though. That was fun.
Oh, good old NGCC. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for us tonight, folks. I want to take a quick minute to thank our guest, Chris Pinkerton, for joining us. Thank you, Chris, stepping in for Joe tonight.
Oh, wow. Big shoes to fill. Sorry, Joe. Don't ask what that smell is in your spot next week. It'll be self-explanatory.
Oh, no, I think we're going to vote Joe off after this and see if you want to join us, Chris.
Oh, gosh. I can't. How much commitment do you think I have?
It's every other week. It's every other week.
You don't have to come to the Hangouts.
SmackDown hasn't been good very much lately anyway, so we'll see. No, don't kick Joe off.
We love Joe. We won't do that.
Did Joe have a fireworks incident? Is that?
No, I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, plans for the 4th, I think.
It's a holiday. Celebrate.
It is.
Celebrating our independence. And oh, how sweet it is.
Fucking snitches around here called the cops on everybody with the fireworks. And they came around and shut everybody down.
Are y'all not supposed to have them?
Well, no, of course they're illegal.
Someone always got.
Why are they illegal?
But I don't know. They've been illegal for a very long time. But you used to be able to go down to I mean, you're semi-familiar with New York, Chris. Chinatown, Canal Street. They used to have them lined up down the outside, just lined
Wow.
up on the streets, and you could buy all kinds. But years ago, they cracked down on that, so you can't no more. I don't know where my neighbor across the street gets them from. He probably goes to PA because you can only sell fountain fireworks in Jersey, which is what I was like.
Fountain. Okay, just like,
they're the ones
like
that like
super sparklers. Yeah.
yeah.
So
he has the ones that shoot up. That he's putting on a fucking show. But
Yeah.
I've been here for years, and he does it every year, never a problem. All of a sudden, this year, cops come around. My wife telling him they threatened him with a $500 ticket. Then they went to the next people down the block. Someone must have been bitching and complaining.
Must have been. It's funny, like
Someone new to the neighborhood, probably.
Yeah. So in Alabama, growing up, and basically my whole life, like fireworks would be bought in a tent from a sweaty man, in a Piggly Wiggly parking lot or in a Walmart parking lot, and that's it. They were there around 4th of July and around New Year's, and that was it. You didn't have fireworks. I moved to Maryland, and they sell fucking fireworks at the grocery store.
Yep.
Yeah, but they don't sell beer at the grocery store here. And you can get beer at the grocery store in Alabama. So it seems like we might have our priorities mixed up somewhere.
No beer, but here are the explosives.
That's right. That's right. Well, I guess the thought is you can hold a beer even if you're missing 3 fingers. I don't know. Tomato.
All right, let's go around. D, where can we find you?
You can find me here every Friday night. Oh, every Friday night. You guys can find me here.
Where can we find you, Gort?
I mean, here Friday nights, and then what we got coming up? There's Hershey Comic Con in a couple weeks. Are we doing NJCC? I haven't heard.
Yeah, we're doing NJCC. By the way, we're doing NJCC. Somebody needs to get their shit together and start getting money together. I'll start a chat. Gordon, boy, am I looking forward to finding someone to help me do that, or just do that going forward. So,
what's the date for NJCC?
Hang on,
10th.
It's that. Yeah, I think the second weekend. Yeah, it's the 9th and 10th.
No, I'll be skipping NJCC. I'm going on vacation in the following weekend. So.
I almost see your ass anyways. Goddamn.
Well, you coming to RetroCon? Of course not. No.
When is RetroCon?
In September.
Well, I didn't hear that on the breaking news just now, Gort. Jeez, talking about Hershey. No, I think I'm going to try to come up to that. Like, I don't have anything going on in September that I know of.
I'm going to RetroCon this year. So.
Is that in Oaks, PA still?
Yeah, same place.
Like right north. Oh, it's in the same place. Where we saw Cybertronic spree that time?
Yeah, and
that's a really nice venue.
Yeah, Dom's going to be selling this time. I'm going to be helping him with the table, and we're there for the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott's coming. Joe's coming. Wolf's going.
I think's coming.
Lou's coming up.
Yeah, get a lot of people to that. That's a good show.
Okay. Yeah, let me try to come up to that. I mean, is Wolfie going to come to that?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, wow. So we can take a cast photo. Is that what you're saying?
New cast photo. There we go.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
We can give Joe the camera.
Tell him to take a selfie with it. Oh, goodness gracious. Shout out to Joe. Miss not having him on here tonight, but cool.
Yeah.
Chris, where can the people find you?
Hey, Crashbox Customs all across the Fruited Plain. Don't order anything right now because I don't even have my machines hooked up because I haven't used them all year. And Pinkerton on Instagram, just like it's spelled in my name here. I only repost shit in stories and somehow end up getting followers out of that. I don't understand it. It's mostly either wrestling, toy, or office like dumb shit. Like not the show The Office, but like working in an office dumb shit.
Yeah. I post that shit.
Hearing the team's noise in your sleep and shit. Hey, buddy, got a sec to chat? Oh, anyways. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Thanks again for having me, guys. I had a good time.
Oh, thanks for being here.
Enjoyed
It's been a
having
while
you.
since you've been on.
Make it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a hangout afterwards. I'm broadcasted.
Yep. I'm put up.
Check the group for the link, or you can ask one of us if you want to join in. But that's all for us, folks. We'll see you next week with the broadcast and hangout. Happy 4th, everyone.
Happy 4th.
Peace.
Say it with me now. Really?